Um, last few days have been pretty rough for Blue. In a good way. I was getting crazy synchronicities all day long yesterday. And it wasn't just like getting one. It was like getting synchronicities, connecting with somebody, and then getting confirmation. And like, it's very weird. Someone I don't even know. But yeah, it's kind of one of the gifts I have is being able to feel what others are feeling and know what they're thinking. Telepathy. A lot of it has to do with because I feel the same shit. There is another YouTuber on here that talks about awakening and stuff. Probably shadow banned, I'm assuming. Like yours truly. Definitely a light worker. Pretty much does pretty much the same thing I do. Organite. Making jewelry. Yep, I've been doing that since 2018. Also been going down and bitching about the pollution at the river. Yep, Native Americans, I've been talking about this. They do not like that. Grid workers, light workers, got to start going to your city council. Start bitching about if there's any waterways that are polluted. Set up something that you can get something organized to start cleaning the water. Your rivers and your streams. It's important. Our river is so polluted. When I saw his video, well, the synchronicity was I found him on YouTube. He said he was along the same river I live. And I'm like, no, wait a minute. Kind of looks a little familiar. So I was curious. Like, where was another... Anyways, how about saying pretty much the same stuff I've been? Male version. Yeah, like, how many times have I gone down there and bitched and went and picked up garbage over when they built the little fire pit over there? I didn't even go over it all this year. I figured I'd wait until it got cold out and then I'd go do it. Either way, I had connected up with him. I found him on Facebook and I Facebook messaged him and said, yo, one of the first I just started channeling the freaking Native American spirit. So can you feel how pissed off the Native Americans are? Apparently, dude did a video right prior to me sending that message of him bitching about the pollution at the river. So I don't even know this person, but they live in not real close, but close. It's not like it'd be freaking horrible to drive like an hour, but that's beside the point. I'm just like, because I've been bitching about the same shit. And he's picking up on the same energy. I'm just upstream. I know where a lot of it's coming from. Dude, I didn't even know this person. Yesterday morning somehow found his channel I've been a subscriber, it's just none of his shit was coming up. So I ended up, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but Sunday, more synchronicities. Doing one after the other, after the other, after the other. If you guys are having, look, those are some of the bigger synchronicity. People are actually starting to have like telepathy and being able to pick up on someone's, like, that's what I do. It's what makes me who I am. It's one of my gifts. That way I can help people. That way that they, when I profess my God, they understand he exists. He's real. Like, I was doing prophetic words for a really long time. Like, it's just, I'm so glad that there's this dude named Garrett White on Facebook. I found him. And I'm like, it's about time someone actually tells. Like, is it a dude, a man, a real freaking guy who actually sitting there standing up saying, look, church, you're the problem. Self-righteous hypocrites. You know, when I'm doing downtime, getting downloads, stuff like that, when I'm doing all that downtime, guys, it's enough for me just to get out of bed and go get a bath. I'm not joking. When I'm down, I'm stuck to my bed. Before it used to be for like weeks. Now it's, depends on how thick the energy is. And when we were getting solar flares, which is another synchronicity, about a year ago, I mentioned about all these evil cities. And I started seeing like, not hurricanes, because hurricanes aren't on the West Coast, but I saw like hurricane shit on the West Coast, hitting certain places where God was pissed, okay? I'm not saying that some of that isn't modified by human engineering, because it is, but I was seeing the plan. I was seeing certain cities. So all this stuff happening doesn't surprise me. I spoke of it a year ago, that all these cities like that, yo, the sun's been spitting out EMCs, I think it's called EMCs, off the radar, hitting the North and South Pole. So, doesn't surprise me that most people's bodies are probably under, like, energetic bodies are under a lot of stress. There's some people, obviously, I had to go out today. I had to go do stuff. So last night for 5 o'clock in the morning, because I've been having terrible insomnia. Anybody else? I mean, I've just been taking in information. This is my time. And then I'm exhausted. And then I'm so tired. But I've been saying about all of the spiritual gifts coming to a new level, a whole new level. I've been saying this for, I think, like the last 2 to 3 months. And I've been mentioning about, like Oda Mae Brown gifts, those type of gifts, being able to hear into the spirit realm, and including crossed over loved ones or loved ones that are around you that are stuck. I'm telling you. Oops, there goes that. Yeah. Hello, how are you? The upgrades? Yo, I'm gonna let you know something. Here's a secret. Many times you're going to be tested before you go up to another level, okay? If you don't pass the test, you have to repeat it until you understand and take the lesson in and be like, all right, and then just neutralize it. Look, I understand many of us who have been abused in traumatic ways, emotional, psychological, sometimes spiritual too, financial abuse, abused by, look, we've had a big X marked right here on our friggin' forehead since the time, dude, the synchronicities. Hi, OG Light Warrior. Yo. I thought of a few other things last night too when it came to messing up pictures and technology and just like, oops. You wanna know what? I don't know how many of you out there. You know those hospital baby pictures people get? Hi, Lucas Bear. You know those hospital baby pictures people get? You know, of your baby in the hospital. Like, infant, 2 days old. I bet none of you had, the whole front of you and half your face covered up by a person's hand. Like, they took the picture and the person's hand was right over top of me. Like, what the? Like, I don't know of anybody else who ever had botched up baby pictures like I got. It's like, I mean, they held me in till 8:08. They made sure they held me in. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna see if I can find one of them baby pictures. I might have one laying around somewhere. I'll have to show it to you. Yeah, bitch's hand is in the picture. I'm telling you. I mean, you could take that in a higher perspective too. If yeah, God's hand's covering me. Don't touch this child, even though a bunch of people did. That's my birth time. Yep. You're a C-section, baby. Oh no, they were holding me in, dude. Mom, the doctor was running late. Go figure. So yeah, the nurse couldn't deliver me. I was ready to come out. I don't know what time I should have been born, but she was holding my head in there. Till the doctor got in the room. Imagine that. They didn't want me coming out in this world. Like, there was so much shit. Like, those type of synchronicities, and I'm like, can't stop it. Which very well could go into the birth pains we're seeing right now. You can hold it off all so long. I am a generator. Why do you think these narcs loved me? For real. Why do you think they can't help but come back? I'm a good supply. I'm a good little supply. Not anymore. Yeah. I know I don't comply. That rhymes with supply. I know one thing, we're gonna have endless supply of resources if you stay tapped in like I told you all to do. Yep. Make sure your roots are down deep next to, look, if you can visualize it, do it. Gotta break through the root chakra, people. And that's survival instinct. What you normally want to scratch someone's eyes out for. Telling you. I had to go out today. Look. Swear to God, I was sober. No. I had to go to Lowe's. I needed paint because I want to finish up painting. And heaven forbid, the Walmart machine is always broke. So I couldn't go there to get paint. And I knew I needed to get it. So I matched it up the best I could with Lowe's paint. Well, I get what I need to get and go out to my car. I don't have my keys. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't spaz out. Started praying. God help me find these keys. Where would I put these keys? I was all over this store. They weren't anywhere. They were sitting on top of. I started praying. I'm like, yo, let it be back here in the paint section on top of these where I was looking for paint. I don't know why I didn't put it in my purse. I'm telling you, I can't go out like this. But I have to. There's things that I need. So I was getting very tired of hermiting too. It's like, oh, by the way, OG Light Warrior, are you still on here? Because if you are, let me know when you're coming. Olivia knows that you're probably coming at one point, so she's prepared to give up her bedroom. She already said it. Yeah. She's getting the attic room ready for her, so yeah. But so I went into Lowe's, and then I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna get the light fixed down. I don't like the way that's sitting. Sorry, guys. I don't like the way that's sitting. Dear Lord. Look. There we go. There we go. I was like, I don't like the way. There we go. Okay, sorry. Had to refocus. I knew I needed a new light for my ceiling fan in my kitchen. I'm not pissing with it. I just got home. Dude, what I could buy for a replacement light, I got a whole new ceiling fan for the same amount. Dude, well, I had to say, look, like, if I'm home, it looks like I'm drunk. I'm not. You know, like, I'm forgetting shit. I'm happy. It's like I'm drunk to the point of the happy point. But I'm not on anything. That's the problem. I did enjoy driving my black car today. Did take her out for a bath. Went and paid some bills. Went to the bank. Went and got my thyroid pills. Unleashed Black Diamond. Went and got some shit. Thought I would be able to find... I got ceiling paint because I'm going to finish painting my ceilings. Yo. Because I'm going to give this room a good wipe down. It needs it. I need a good fall cleaning. I prayed last night. I'm like, look, God, I cannot be in bed. Things I want to get done. Like, I gotta get this energy moving. So, went and got all the paint I needed. Went and got the paint I need to do for around my rims on my black tire, my where I curb. Look, I can't even fucking talk. To be going out in public like this, yeah, I kind of say to myself. But yeah, instead of finding like just a light, I did find a whole new fan. Yeah. So, I mean, dude, for what I could pay for a light, $20. I found a ceiling fan, whole new fan, same type, for 25. Yeah, I think I'll just replace it. I ended up did go to Walmart then because there was some wanted to start stocking up on some canned foods, so I went there. Um, Not giving a fuck, walking around like I own the place because I do. I own this bitch. My energy sure did. And I really didn't care. Like, I don't give a shit. People look at me. I just smile. There was some lady, she was playing something about some for kind of political song. I could hear it thumping in her car. I forget the name of what she said it was, but it was pretty harsh. It sounded like Eminem, but it wasn't him. Because he wouldn't be trashing Joe Biden. Like, who is this guy? That's some funny shit. Like, that's the type of stuff I hear. Yeah. Yeah, I've been doing that. Yo, I make every single inmate in prison jealous. I got more shit for fucking ramen noodles and stuff like that. Dude, I could be making bank in prison. I got a collection. Yep. Yo, I don't know about the rest of you. I don't. I don't know about the rest of you. But did you guys by chance check the Nuns Grab Bag Monday? She's doing straight messages. And she was tapping into people's ancestors, and that is something I've never saw her whole new level. And I was like, yay. That's how you'll know the difference. That is how you'll know the difference. People doing the same old tired shit. You can tell the difference in their energy level. You can tell the difference in their insight. You can tell the difference in the messages they're getting because we're getting lots more. You can tell how they're going deeper into the esoteric and in the cards. They're digging. Y'all, do me a favor. I want y'all to check out, after we get off of here, check out the Book of Mary Magdalene. Not even joking. It's all about this. That's why they removed it. Same with Thomas. Anything that had to do with the power of manifestation, they removed it from the scriptures. How dare you? I know why. I know exactly why. Because there was going to be a point in human history. I'm so glad they found the Dead Sea Scrolls and all the lost books. Glad Israel held on to some of them. They didn't completely toss them. But these books in the New Testament, it's like, God, yo, there was a lot more books, I'm pretty sure, wrote by females, and they just left important females' names out of the Bible. I'm convinced of it. My ear just popped. Well, I know that they took out the original canon was, I think, it's now 66. I think it had 90. They took out 14, and a couple of them was like the Book of Enoch and Tom. Like, they removed them. Said they were not truly inspired by God. Yeah. Sure. They knew that there was going to be a generation that was going to wake up in the middle of this stuff, rise up against the dark forces. And we have to understand who they are. Well, yeah, they want people to worship them. What did Lucifer want? What did old Lucy want? No, to worship me. That's pretty much what people do with demigods and stuff. Like, sure, they do have superpowers. They're bound to this earth. That's why. And they were angels. So of course they have superpowers. Just like their brothers and sisters who didn't follow. They only got a third. There's still 2/3 that are on the light. That's why, it isn't even a competition. It's not. And here's what some of the major issues I've found is blaming other people. Blaming other people for what happened in the past and holding on to it. I did it. Not truly surrendering it. Took a hard look in the mirror and said, look, blue, blue. Yeah, you weren't perfect either. You did a lot of screwed up things. However, unlike them, you chose to actually not want to do that no more. Consciously chose to not want to be like that. Because it made me feel yucky on the inside when I act like that. And I'm mean to people. Oh, this is something for everyone. Many of us saw the errors of our ways. God put us right in the mirror to be like, look, you're no better. Many times God had to bring karma around and slap you back. Look, I believe many of us right now are at we're at a major level up because we actually did repent. We actually did want to change. We actually did work with our guides and our angels and go back in our ancestry and be like, look, we know this isn't our ancestry. It was wrong. Please forgive us. In our ancestors' stead. They did that messed up shit. We're confessing it. We apologize. It's wrong. Please forgive us. God's like, about time somebody recognized it. but it was all guided by God. I have so many ancestors that are of a pure heart right now around me that I'm going into Walmart and Lowe's, even though I lost my keys, staying in peace, asking the angels to help me find them in the whole damn store of Lowe's. I walked around that whole damn thing. I was in there, I was pricing lumber and shit like that. And I was around the whole damn store. Just so happened, nobody picked them up. They were at the paint section. Hallelujah. It's like, yeah, this is the only reason I should have went in here. Either way. And I've been wanting to come on live. I was actually going to come on live at like 5 o'clock this morning because I was still awake. Dude, I feel everything. Well, some of it might not. Yeah, before I go to bed, I've been doing shots of holy water. Yep. Anointing myself, doing shots of holy water, waking up, getting spiritual. But I know the battle is raging. Oh no, I'm good. I'm so at peace. Dude, I went into Walmart and didn't even give a shit. Went in there to get what I needed to get. I don't know. I don't know what I would have done if I would have ran into you know who, but I'd have been like, oh, now the fucking paint machine is fixed. Sink. Things are back to where they need to be. Blue is, it's like, cocky ass mother. Either way, I did find a good price on a freaking ceiling fan, and I did find paint. Well, see, I do that because I have a hard time in dreamland. I do work even when I'm asleep. I dream all the time. It doesn't stop. No matter what I do, it don't stop. So that was more for protection of my internal, because we don't know what's been gonna try and attack. The attacks are gonna ramp up. I'm just making sure I'm protected. And I woke up late because I didn't get to sleep till 5 a.m. So I woke up around 11:30. Got around, got a shower. Hey, at least I colored my hair yesterday. Got around, got a shower. And like I was a little bit late to run to take my trash down, but at least I could go pay my bills. And then I went to the friggin' bank and I did all my running. I did 4 hours worth of running. But I did bring my other car back here, switch it out, and drove my black car because I love that car. It is so fun. I'm gonna have to do a live from Blue Flames Black Diamond. Oh, heck yeah. I have it all pimped out with freaking lights. Yep. Oh. So yeah, I did get paint and stuff, so gotta get the energy moving. I took nails off. I wanted to go down and pull cards. What do you guys think? You guys gonna kill me if I don't have my nails looking perfect if I pull cards? Thought about doing for you light workers and star seeds. Yeah, I haven't done one of those readings in a long time, and I hear God has a message for you guys. Specifically, the light workers and star seeds. The collective is usually everybody. But we have to remember, here's the other thing. We have to remember, we have people in the collective that are coming in on different levels. Okay? There's people who are understanding that they're being called on, or they're starting to develop these gifts. Well, I could put nails on. I have them sitting here. It's just I know I'm gonna have to paint the next few days, so I don't want to waste them. Well, there it goes. I need a smoke. I do. OG Light Warrior. Yo, I have a question for you. Can you do me a favor? You need to talk to your sweetie about when you're coming and give me a few days in advance so that I can make sure everything's good. That way, because when you're coming, I'm taking you all around Pennsylvania. Me and Olivia already discussed it. Yep. Taking you to Gettysburg. We're gonna, oh yeah. Yo, bitch. Get out the way. Yo, I'm taking you to Gettysburg because we're gonna test your abilities. It's a good place to test. And teach you how to cross over spirits. Yep, I am. Teach you how to call them out. Teach you how to cross them over. And yeah, do a little prayer there. Yeah, whatever you want to do, dude. You're welcome. We're gonna go to Ricketts Glen because we're gonna go Gettysburg is freaking awesome. We really should do a group meetup. Yeah, we should. Yo, there are some really interesting places there. We're gonna test our intuition. It's a good place. However, we have to clear ourselves real good when we leave. We don't need no hitchhikers. We don't need, well, some of us might want a few. I know the ones up there at Devil's Den. I already freaking released them to go to DC. So like, it was funny. I did that, and like 2 days later, the George Floyd mural guy is struck by lightning. How does that happen? They called you a traitor, dude. Hey, all you rebels and you union people, get over here. This is what's going on in America right now. I had a chit chat with him, and I released the Kraken. And right in that spot at Gettysburg, I'm like, fulfill your oath, man. It's time. 2 days later, the mural in Ohio got hit, which is Ohio's right next to Gettysburg. Ohio got hit with freaking bolt of lightning. Told them to go to DC. That was their main goal anyway. And I kind of did the same thing here on my land with the natives. Because it wasn't just colonial spirits that were stuck here. These okay. How do I want to get into this? I just see I lost 3 people. Look. When I started coming over here and ministering back in 2006, 2007 to the street kids, yeah, I had a dream or a vision. I don't even know what. I just remember seeing the river here. And I remember, and I think I told you like we were about this. I legit saw, it looked like a transformer, okay? But it was all stone. And it was taller than the mountain over here. It was walking down my river. Like in between the bridges. In between this bridge and this bridge. I was on that bridge and I looked and I saw it coming toward me. I was like, what in the actual is that? And I actually saw what the principality was that was over this region, which isn't any low level, low ranking demonic energy. It's not. The natives knew about it that were here. Yeah, they did. They knew about these creatures. They talked about these creatures. They knew what they were. They knew who the Nephilim were. They knew who the Watchers were that fell from the sky like lightning. So, just like how you have it in, good and evil are inside a person's heart. This is what we struggle with, is doing the right thing that's right for us, that we would want to please the divine, our creator, and figure out why we're here, what we're created to do. It didn't help that we had all these systems that they built coming into the 3D to keep you stupid to who you are. Sorry, ignorant to who you are. You're not stupid. All of you, I guarantee, most of humanity has felt like they were here for a bigger reason. Like, what every single person questions their existence. Why am I here and what is all of this? I know that's right. Every person wants to make an impact. They either want to look, no child that I've ever saw ever goes, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? An astronaut, the president. Probably do a better job. A firefighter, a police, all of these I know. I do too. I do too. Trust that. You saw me. I'm gonna smoke. I hope I don't care. There's so many. Look, this right here is a guide map to show you that you don't have to be a perfect person to know God and love God. You don't. But this is a guide map, and this teaches you, plus the other many books that they left out of it, it teaches you who God is. It teaches you about the person of Jesus Christ to a degree. But it's time you guys get your spiritual glasses and put them on and realize that we are to be living a supernatural life. You get that power and that divine authority when you're tested, when God knows you're not going to abuse it or abuse other people with it. Here's the problem. There have been a whole lot of people with a whole lot of power creating a whole lot of problems using this power, and God's tired of it. So he's like, all right. Nope, never read that book. I've stuck to a lot of the ancient scriptures. I've listened to some of Dolores' canon stuff, but no, I have not heard that. Put it, well, you won't be able to. Yo, send me where I can get it. We're friends on Facebook and shit. Insta. Send me the info for it. I'll look it up. One of the things Garrett White kept on saying the other night, and I might play just a little bit of it because it's about time the church heard the truth. Because I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, I'm just that ball buster that can preach a whole sermon with tarot cards. Tell people, oh, what the heck is really going on? Look, every single human being, every single person is special. And they mean something to God. They're created in God's image. Period. We all are. God just chose to wake, no, not the woke culture. He chose to wake some of us up so that we would be leading and helping others. Sort of like Pentecost 2.0. If I could put it in those terms. Pentecost 2.0. Ramp it up to about Pentecost 10.0. Yo, like I said, anytime I speak in light language, I really annoy the crap out of religious people. I do. That's a tongue of the devil. Yeah, well, guess what? Matthew was a tax collector. David was an adulterer and a murderer. Jacob, who they later named Israel, was a swindler and a thief. David was an adulterer. Solomon talked to demons. had 900 wives and 800 fucking, he was getting it in. I guarantee he was doing that ritualistic sex magic shit. I guarantee it. Why do you think he was so damn prosperous? I'm telling you. These lower dark energies are subject to us. Stand in your power. They didn't want you waking up to who you are. I said it last night in the thing. I'm like, the Watchers are here. We're here. We're back. The hybrid ones. It's the new breed. All them ones that were stuck here because you were stupid. Everywhere, dude. There's such a parallel. Think about it. Apparently, if you read Genesis 1:1, in the beginning of this earth realm, because there was shit going on before that, obviously, if he left. This place was a desolate, hot-ass mess. It was chaos. It was crazy. You know why? There's no order. None. Dark. Gross dark. There was no light here. They were all fallen ones. And in come some humans, I guess. Well, actually, I'm pretty sure, like, when light showed up and the sun was made and the stars were made, and God said it was all good and all that other stuff, I'm sure, I can just imagine. Imagine leaving God's presence, being down here, just doing your own, and all of a sudden light shows up and you're like, oh shit, he knows we're here. Imagine how scared they must have been. Not even joking, God's coming. Wait. Their whole environment turned into order. God made order out of chaos. Satan was like, I don't like this. And then he decided to make humans just to piss him off. Just to piss him off. You're made in my image. And dark forces didn't like that because they're not made in God's image. Only human beings. I say everything's created by the Most High. It's all beautiful. But these were soulless things, like energies. Didn't have matter, substance. They made their choice at that point. But I'm sure that, like, when order showed up, I'm sure that they were like, all right, we gotta make chaos again, because that's how they thrive. They thrive in chaos. Same as like when bad people or bad things happen in your life and it turns to chaos. That's not God doing it. You have to understand something. What did God tell you to do that you didn't do? What have God been telling you to do that you're like, just haven't done it yet? Because chaos then comes in. It's not God. He allowed it. You have free will, yes. You can have chaos in your life or you can have order in your life. It's like the scales of justice. This is trying to balance that shit out. Yo, I'm gonna let you know something. 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and the millennial babies. The next, pretty much since Libra season, you're gonna see the progression from chaos into order. Possibly back to chaos then, but because they're gonna fight back. But there's gonna be some for kind of order that's coming out of this, and I honestly believe is ranking in the spirit realm. You've done your work. You surrendered to the divine call on your life, on the divine call God has for you, no matter what it looks like. God's gonna make your life order out of what was chaos. Thing is, God's asking you to do stuff. I know He is. Yeah, this little tugging, and some people are like, I don't know if that's God. Well, a lot of times if it's too good to be true, it's probably not. Just saying. That's a good way to test. If it's something that makes you feel really uncomfortable and goes, I need your help. Can't. God's like, all right, finally, co-creating. Co-creating a situation is human part. Human will finally get the lesson and pass. Told me exactly what was going to happen. And that's exactly what happened. I still can't believe it. All the things just in the last week. But even with complete strangers. I don't know. And then I like I said, I look around at the collective and I could see the ones who are really upgrading their gifts. And it's like, I could tell a difference. Some people are at a flat line, sound like a robot, but they sound way, way, way too nice. They're not giving you the meat. They're still giving you titty milk. Tarot titty milk. Look. The real ones that are in here, I'm not saying that they're not real psychics. Don't get me wrong. Just some of us that have surrendered to the call when we already had these gifts for a long time. But now God's using them in a completely different facet than what you were programmed to think was okay. That was hard for me. It really was. It was hard to be like, but I love you. I don't want to go to the occult. What? I rebuke you, see. And I even talked to somebody about it that was there. And they're like, I don't think that was God either. I wrote it down. And like I said, I'm here to be a light. I'm a way shower. Prophet. Element bender. Um I got archangelic qualities, I'm pretty sure. And like I said, God told me he wanted his gift back in a pure form. Or should I say his talents, his mysticism. He wanted it, that was his. Like I said, God made all this stuff, it was good. It's a sin in man's hearts that made it evil. Just like everything else on this planet. Coming from a place of pure love for God. Realize you're a bridge to somebody else's connection with the divine. You're going to be getting messages for people. You're going to be just led to drive somewhere someday and just be like, have a conversation. Very well could change that whole person's outlook. Your kindness, just being kind to somebody, it might actually be like, oh wow. Like, not everybody's an asshole in this world. Not everybody's trying to get up on somebody. Even though that has happened to a lot of us. That's why we know not to do it to someone else. We know how bad it hurts. Like, those who've done us wrong, those who've done us wrong, they know what they did. They're paying for it. I can guarantee that. Even if you can't see it, they're paying for it. Yep. They knew you were the one. They knew it all along. They just wanted what you had. Like, they saw you shine. They saw you had joy and peace and love. And they couldn't stand it because they couldn't find it or generate it within themselves. So they abused it. And it just so happens that we started noticing the energy drains heavily, roughly around 2015, 14, started noticing how you couldn't be around certain people or you'd notice shifts in your energy. You knew it. You were getting syncs back then too. And then when 2017 hit, you started realizing how many people are not are just kind of running to and fro and not paying attention and just stuck in the program of going to work, coming home, getting the kids ready for bed, going to bed, doing it all over again. Monday through Friday. Then they sit there and it's the program. It's the matrix. Want to know what else is program? That's just in family life. Like, that's why so many marriages freaking break down, guys. There's no spice. There's no surprise. There's no care for, like, people get comfortable. We got to keep that passion ignited all the time. Now, it should be reciprocal. When you're looking for a partner, it should be reciprocal. Well, we're okay. We're about to change up our schedules. We're about to change up our schedules because we're about to get a whole lot of inklings or hunches to do things. You're not gonna know where it's coming from, and it's a test of faith. And you very well could meet someone super cool that day. Like, we don't know. But we can't stay hermited all. I'm speaking to myself too, because like, I stay hermited a lot. I haven't left my house in like a week and a half. Not even joking. Um I've been getting a quadruple activation happening constantly. Like, and I'm not even joking. Like, when I knew I was to cut somebody off, which I talked about the other last live stream, God told me to do that. He told me that act of faith. I still might have somebody else yet, but I don't know if it's closed or not. I'm thinking that it is. Um, I pretty much lit into that person. I'm not apologizing again. He was a dick. Not opening up communication. No. Fuck. I could swallow my pride, send a message, and fucking hit block, I guess. I really don't want to hear what anyone else has. Well, I was told that right after I did the whole cutoff thing, I would directly figure out incoming. But I'd have to discern what I want. So I end up getting a message from somebody who his chart and my chart look pretty doggone good. However, I dealt with this person. I'm thinking, but patterns, God. Patterns. I was like, you've changed. People can change. I'm like, but patterns, God. Arguing with God about it. I really don't personally trust this person. Because I went out with him a few times in the past, and he was no, I don't know, big dick, complete dick. So, like I said, I never sweated over this person, not once. Mean shit. Then, like I said, there was somebody else that was kind of like interested, had a little bit of telepathy, and maybe, who knows? I don't know. I'm just preparing pretty well and stay on my path, and I'll know when it comes. They'll recognize me at this point. Boy, oh boy. Peace Steelers thing last night. Some of you were on it. I was in a whole different zone during that whole thing too. I was off in some la la land, other realm. Probably a few of them. I collect. I get in. I can't talk. The nun was like this the other night too when she did her grab bag Monday. Like, energy's intense. So I did feel good to freaking drive my Mazda, but I probably drove a little bit too fast and didn't give a fuck. Like I did. Well, let her roll. Took her and got her washed because of the tree still here. I ran into him too when I was out. The tree dude who was supposed to take my tree down told me his helper actually cut himself. I figured something happened. He's like, well, I know you called. He said, I just didn't know what. I said, dude, how about we would just wait till spring? I'd like it out of here definitely by spring. And he's like, sounds good. So yeah, it wasn't. I mean, I don't like tree bells above out there, but yeah. So I'm gonna have to go out and leaf blow, and then I'm gonna have to freaking paint. There's a lot of shit I gotta do still, but I've been getting downloads galore, guys. So once I get this energy moving, it's gonna start coming out. So I'm just pulsating. I get in other people's energy, and I just can feel. And it's when you're out in public, it's hard to close off. You don't really say anything. You don't really fit in. See people just part the Red Sea when you walk by. Yeah. I saw that at Walmart. I laughed. It's like, yeah. I don't know. It's like a conscious, subconscious thing. People just knew. Front row parking at Walmart. The Queen rolled in. Sure did. More like the Emperor, bitch. Building empires. Yeah. Just do what God's telling you to do. Yeah. If you know you're not supposed to be doing something, it's been revealed to you. Pray to God about it. Ask for help. Ask for divine intervention. But you gotta make a move toward it. Angels will be there. You just gotta activate them. Most people don't use their angels. Dude, that's another thing I'd said. My Marine, his birthday is the 27th. So I kept on getting the nudge on the 26th here, because he's not here, he's in another country. I kept on getting the nudge on the 26th to message him happy birthday, even though it's a day early. I wanted to make sure that I didn't forget, because I was getting all this shit. So I came up here and I'm like, hey, I said, I just want to tell you happy birthday. Said, I know it's early, but I just want to tell you happy birthday. I love you. Be safe. Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, actually, here it is my birthday. Mama knows. God tell me, don't forget to wish your son a happy birthday. But like I rationalized it as, oh my gosh, okay. I'm thinking about it now. I better do it now, so I don't forget. Just like I forgot my car keys at Lowe's on a paint can, for Pete's sakes. Like, Yo, when you're getting those little nudges, just step out in faith. You're going to see God come through and be like, see, you listened. See, you listened. See, you listened. See, you knew what you did wrong and you did a 180. U-turn. Stamped past. Flowing connection. Continually. So you can flow out here and be a blessing and a light to other people. Even people who hurt you, even people who done you wrong. You are to still shine God's light. No more hiding it under a bushel, people. No more hiding your beautiful gifts and talents. Let the world see who you are. It's time. It's okay. Some people aren't going to like you. And what? They don't like you, tell me. Blue flame got to pull up, I'll pull up. Yo. Let me find out. I got a whole big group of ancestors who have been waiting to whoop somebody's ass. Just so you know. I don't like most people. Well, humans are difficult. They are. Very difficult. However, we have to be on this planet. We came here to help. We're activating now. God says it's time. Don't be disobedient. Because inactivity is blatant disobedience too. If you're not doing something God told you to do, you're sitting on it, you're being disobedient. No more excuses. Time to start. Yeah, I know many of you. I felt it right in my chest. I'm listening. Gotta take that in for a minute. Okay, referring back to 2018. I did channel message. The first time I ever channeled anything. I didn't even know what I was doing. I was actually in my car, my black car. And it was like a two-parter. And it had to do with the zodiac signs. It had to do with what they needed to work on and get rid of. And put on this sacrificial chopping block. Is what it was called. That was during all those eclipses in Cancer and freaking Capricorn. No shit. Like, I think the one was that was coming in from, no, it wasn't Cancer. I think that's when the node shifted. Either way, it was back in 2018. I know one of the things Aries had to do, my personal sign. Stop being a baby was basically my thing. Stop being a baby. Stop being stop complaining. That was when Uranus was still in Aries. And no, Taurus had Uranus just went into Taurus. Or it came back in Aries, but it wasn't Taurus. Retrograded back in Aries. Because I remember saying, how you like that, Taurus? I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't even know. What I do know is your stability about to get shaken up. About the money shit too. Oh, all of this all of it stems from having an increased faith. That's why the synchronicities, I'm telling you, the angels that were around you and your purpose in this life is bigger than you realize. Not everybody was getting synchronicities, people. I mean, I'm sure people saw that, but it didn't click. Like, it was like, oh my God, like how we were getting them. And then they started getting more and more and more and more and more. And one thing after another. And you started being able to see patterns and cycles, and it got you studying and digging. I was like, these people are earnestly seeking my power and mysteries. Well, there's two ways you can get it. Because you're a chosen one. You can get it the easy way or the hard way. Some people sold their souls. And yeah, they got a lot of influence. The ones who didn't? Well, those are the ones God had to hide for a while. Saw the church for the frauds they were. Aye. Not even mad at them. They're on a program. Interpersonal relationships, jobs. Government, you see the evil. You just see it. People can't hide who they are anymore. You know the intent of a person's heart by what comes out their mouth. Their inaction is actually an action. You guys have been waiting around for somebody. Look, you're probably trauma bonded to somebody. There's a soul attachment where you bonded possibly with a narc. This is the spiritual side of it. And what they do is they siphon your energy, even long after they're with you. We're not told this, but it's all scripture that they took out of the Bible. Soul ties come in through sex, they come in through trauma. Some of it can be ancestral. Some of it wasn't even most of it wasn't even your shit. This is why we had to go and heal our inner child, because our ancestors didn't know. Some of them were doing this. Some of them were really seeking, but they had the program to stop them. Oh, probably a generator. That's what we do. People like to come and plug into our energy. Well, you have to realize a lot of people have been staying to themselves too. Well, I can tell you one thing that God told me. I always thought butterflies were a good thing. Ooh, I got butterflies in my stomach around this person. It's not. It's your intuition being like, pay attention. Something messed up's happening here. And a lot of it is your chemical. This person, the way this works is they get your chemical reactions. It's almost like an orgasm. They get all your emotions all fucked up, okay? And they like to do it through sex, so we're aware. Okay? You think you're connecting to them, bonding. No, they're just connecting to you to put a hook in. And it's energetic, it siphons your energy. It's witchcraft. That's what real witchcraft is. Well, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't cut. I would have them. I remove them. I do removal. And a complete energy dude, I got a whole freaking thing. All the way, push it all the way out here. 100 feet out of your earth field. You become the bug zapper then. For these little weasels. I don't even want to talk bad about them, to be honest with you. I don't. I've come across lots of these types. And, you know, their manipulation tactic is all abuse. And it's all to mess up your mind. It's all mind games. What they didn't recognize is, even though you were dealing with the devil, straight up, I mean, that's what you were dealing with. You had a mark on you. They targeted you. I mean, yeah, they do it to everybody, but when they actually hook into someone of divine, their whole life gets order, and yours turns to chaos because there's an energy exchange. They're giving you their rotten, shitty energy. You're taking on and transmuting all of their stuff. They're getting your blessed energy. And God's at one point got like, what in the heck? Switch that. That don't belong there. And I'm not saying, you know, takers will always take. Givers love to give, but takers don't stop taking ever. They need as many people that they can suck energy as they possibly can. Hence, energy vampires. Like I said, I'm not even afraid of these people no more. I've been able to detach. It's not easy. I know this. But I know how to do it. I A lot of times, like I said, God's asking you to do something. A lot of times it's releasing some for pattern or program that you're in and stepping out and trying something new in faith. If you have faith of a mustard seed, that mountain will be moved. It will. My God, God can cut an energy cord like this. Do you want it cut? You want it dissolved? Actually, it doesn't even just get cut. Dissolved. It's no longer there. Don't worry, they do try and hoover back. Yes, they do. Can you shut it down? With love? Mm-hmm. Indifference? Absolutely. It woke me up to my need for my creator and just how much God really does love me. And all the gifts I have just went through the roof. Well, there's your spark. Like I said, should we listen to Garrett a little bit? I might put him on just for a few minutes. Yo, you want to hear someone back? My spirit animal. My spirit animal. He tells these people exactly. And he has it. Like, he lives in like Beverly Hills, dude. Like, how? Like, that is bizarro to me. See if we can get.
I'm not Jesus. Neither are you.
Garrett White.
Yep. I'm not Jesus.
Oop. Hang on.
I'm not Jesus. Neither are you. Yep. I'm not Jesus. And neither are you. It's good news. I'm not Jesus. And neither are you. Never cease to amaze me. Right? The comments I get. It's fun, right? It's fun because, like, society seems to be divided up into two groups of people. People who watch everybody else who have an opinion and have a courage to put their businesses, their lives, their opinion, their brands on the line to have a public opinion. Right? Like me. And then there's those who have risk nothing. Right? There's sideline spectators that throw darts and throw stones. It's an interesting place because, and then you got this third group of people, and guess what they do? They just, like, disappear in the sidelines. They don't say anything. They just, like, kind of watch. Just kind of sit back and they just kind of watch. I agree with the statement that I'm not Jesus Christ. That's obvious. Because people want to make comments in how I show up in the following. They'll say, hey, that sounds real Christ-like. Hey, you can't talk like that. What do you call yourself, a preacher? Hey, what are you, the next televangelist? And you say the word fuck? Hey, you can't talk like that. That's not how Jesus would do it. My response is always the same. I'm sure that's how Jesus wouldn't do it either.
Pretty much.
I don't know. Because I'm not Jesus, which means Jesus does what Jesus does. Jesus did what Jesus did, and not you or I could ever come close to doing what Jesus did. But I find it interesting because when you come from that frame and you speak at other people that way, and you use it as not a way of growth or impact or encouragement, it's an attack. It's an attack, which is hilarious to me, right? It never showed up before. Until I started talking about Jesus, nobody gave a shit. They'd say, okay, people attacked me for lots of different reasons over the years, and they had opinions about lots of things over the years, but no, the Christian community didn't come out and say anything. They were just kind of like on the sideline. Particularly all my Midwest people that love to copy and paste scripture, they're the ones that say it the most, right? They copy and paste the scripture and they post it on there. They're all, that's not how Jesus would do it. That's not how Jesus would do it. I said, well, last time I checked and looked at your marriage and your lack of ability to produce for your family and the fact that you as a man are weak as fuck, it appears that you're not doing it as Jesus does either. Here's good news. None of you are Jesus and nor am I. Good news. What does that mean? That means that you get to be human. And being human means you get to progress and grow and make new decisions. Constantly. Think about this. 5 years ago, the way you were looking at life, you saw the world a certain way. And seeing it a certain way, you thought that's how life was. But that's not how life is today for you.
He's right.
Because you changed. You grew. You evolved. You became. Romans 12 speaks about this principle of transforming of the mind. That God says, hey, listen, I want you to transform your mind. I want you to become new. I want you to be born again. And the question was, what? Do I go back into my mother's womb and come back out her vaginal canal again and be reborn? He's like, no, that you must be born again of the Spirit. And then people are like, well, Garrett, you don't feel like it doesn't feel like I feel the Spirit with you. I was like, that has nothing to do with me. That has everything to do with you. I want you to recognize you could line up 100 people who were speaking what God has called them to speak into the world. And you can line up of those 100 people, there are thousands of people, if not millions, who all think every single one of those 100 are complete idiots. That's not how Jesus would do it. I've never met a group of people who battle more about the quote truth than I have in Christians. And the crazy part is, it's all interpretation. It's all theologians who spend their whole lives mentally masturbating over their theories with the Bible. And then they come at one another. This is like crazy, from Mormons to Jehovah's Witnesses to Seventh-day Adventists to Baptists to Catholics. And then what do you have in between? Well, then you have all of your non-denominational churches, which, by the way, are now a denomination as intensely as any of the other, quote, denominations. And what is everybody doing? They're just like throwing rocks at each other and saying, you're wrong, and that's not how Jesus would do it, and that's not how Jesus would do it, and that's not how Jesus would do it, and how dare you have an opinion the way you do it? That's not how Jesus would say it. I'm like, well, how would you know? Well, because of this one scripture, and my pastor told me on Sunday. Okay. I have a question for you. Do you even know Jesus? Personally. Yeah, I was saved. Good. Appreciate that. That's not hard. You feel it in the moment, you're sitting in a worship event, you're reading in the Bible, you're having a conversation with somebody, and you feel this encounter happen, and you feel this love come into your heart. You're like, I'm going to accept Jesus as my Savior. Easy. That's easy. People are like, that's not easy. I was like, I didn't say the road up to that point is not easy, but it's really not that complicated. Once you get it, you say a few words, you accept Christ into your heart, and then what? Well, then comes the real work. And guess what the real work is? The real work is following what God's telling you to do every single day. And here's the fun part. God might be telling other people to do shit that is the exact opposite of what he's telling you to do. Not everyone's being guided by God in the same way, my friend. And how do I know? Because we're all different human beings. I have 4 children with a 5th on the way. None of my children are the same. None of them. They all operate different. I got one, you got to drag her out of bed with a sledgehammer. I got another one, she will set her alarm and be up at 6 o'clock in the morning. She is paranoid about getting her homework done. She wants to get it done. She wants to go to school. She wants to nail it. She wants to hit the checklist. I got another one, if you put anything in front of her that's a checklist, she wants to torch the whole checklist with a blowtorch.
That'd be me.
You and I, we're all very different. God doesn't deal with all of us the same. He deals with us on a personal level. So when people come up and say, that's not how Jesus would do it, I said, well, you know what? I'm sure they said that to Abraham too. I'm sure he said that to Noah too. You just kind of follow down the line. What you're going to find in scripture is a whole bunch of imperfect people doing progressive shit. It's easy to point your finger at somebody else and be like, oh, that's not how Jesus would do it. You offend me. And then you go hide behind your scriptures, and guess what? Your life doesn't change for shit. You don't progress, you don't grow, and you become a wandering voice of using the name of Jesus. But here's what we know. Your results when nobody else is around, you know you're full of shit. You know you're full of shit. And there's nothing
I know you're full of shit.
That's going to save you from the pile of shit that has become your life. And it's frustrating because you're like, wait a second, I gave my life to Christ, my life should be working. Well, guess what? Your life doesn't work because you gave your life to Christ. Your life works in this world here on the kingdom of earth when you have given your life to Christ and you have reconnected with the kingdom of heaven. But here comes the hard part. That means you've got to do the crazy shit God's asking you to do. And I'm confident that it's not you running around telling everybody that's not how Jesus would do it. That's not how Jesus would do it. It's like the Christian cancel culture. Like we got the cancel culture going on, and then you come into Christianity, and we got the Christian cancel culture. That's not how it's done. I've not actually done anything with my entire life except for sit around and wait for opportunities to try to tell people exactly what my pastor told me on Sunday at the sermon. Yeah, what are you doing? Huh? What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? For you, for your wife, for your family, for your children, for your finances. How are you standing? What work are you doing? And here's what I know. There is a checklist that God is speaking into your life right now. Has nothing to do with me. Nothing. And there are things on that list you're being asked to do, and there's shit you're being asked to not do. Well, it's not in the Bible. Yeah, most of the custom revelation you're going to get is not going to come from the Bible. Oh my God, that's so offensive. How can you say that? Everything that God has ever said and will ever say is all sealed up in the Bible. Bullshit. Not true. God talks to me every single day. It's not in the Bible. It's personal revelation. My daughter's names are not in the Bible. Your daughter's names are not in the Bible. Yet your custom guidance, get guidance from God, can be inspired by the words you read in the Bible, inspired by the stories. I'm not saying they're not inspiring. I'm saying you're selective in how you choose to interpret it, selective, and when you actually back it out, most of this, there's a reason why there's like 17, 18 plus different translations of the Bible. Why? Because people can't even agree. Well, I don't like that translation. I'm going to read in this translation. I'm going to do in this translation. I'm going to do in this translation. I'm going to do in this translation. It's 100% for sure the word of God. I'm like, yeah, and then you got your pastor's interpretation. You got some stories over here. And you got some opinions over here. And guess what? We're all human beings trying to figure out what? Not how to be right. We're not trying to figure out how to be right. I'm going to have you consider you're here to figure out one simple thing. Can you listen to the voice of God in you? And number two, can you and will you do what God is asking you to do? That's it. It's not fucking complicated. Yet we want to make it complicated. We want to make it spiritual. And so we become self-righteous pricks who judge the shit out of other Christians because they don't do it the way Jesus does it. Really? Do you even know? If we followed you around with a GoPro and we documented your whole day, we documented how you showed up. We documented and exposed your bank account. We documented and exposed the last time you showed up with your kids. We talked about what was really going on in your sex life, your communication, your intimacy with your partner. If your life actually had to be put on display, would we find out you're doing it like Jesus would do it? And guess what the answer is? No. And guess what? No one is. No one is. Not one man or woman on the planet is doing it right. Because the point was not to be perfect. The point was to progress. And I'm going to have you consider the point was not for you to fall in love with the Bible. The Bible is a map. It's a map. A map to what? To memorizing scripture? For what? It's a map. It's a map. And before it was written down, what you had was men and women having encounters with God. voice inside of them. And no, God did not come down and stand face to face with most of them. God was speaking to their lives in soft ways and asked them to do things. Hey, I want you to do A, B, and C. And then comes the test. Will you do it? And will you do it if people in the church community think that you're crazy? Will you do it if your spouse thinks you're crazy? Will you do it if people on social media think you're crazy? I don't do these videos for my help. I don't do these videos for my, I don't need to do these videos. I must do these videos. Do you know why? Because God told me to. So I am. These are not marketing videos. These are not business moves. I don't need these live streams every couple days to build my business or my brand. I don't give a shit. I know how to advertise. I know how to sell. Warrior does not need these live streams. Like other companies in the hair industry, in the software space, I don't need this. This I'm doing, I don't need this to be successful. And yet I do. Why? Because what I found is God says, do these things, Garrett, and I will prosper you. Don't do them, and I won't. The end. I'm gonna wrap this video up with one simple thing. We have an easy life, no matter where you're at in the game, compared to the Old Testament. Now, these fucking guys had to do some shit. Abraham was just wrapped up. Now we're beginning Isaac and Rebecca, and their little journey's beginning. I'm finding Isaac is repeating some of the same things that Abraham did. Here you have a guy who was given a very simple instruction. God started his revolution with him. It was not to the world. There was no Bible. There was no church to go to. The church was Abraham. He was the church. You are the church. That was the connection. God speaks into Abraham's life and tells him, listen, you see this? I have a future for you that's so much bigger than what you see. I have a purpose for your life that is so much bigger than you can comprehend. Look at the stars across the heavens. I have a legacy that will come through you that is greater than anything that you could possibly imagine. And Abraham lays there with his hands behind his head, and he's feeling it. He's like, oh, and God is doing this with you, and you felt this before. These moments where you're like, I know my life is to be more than what I have allowed my life to become so far. But you don't allow it to grow. And so you sit in this pocket of resistance, and I get it. And you spend your time telling people it's not how Jesus would do it. Because inside, you're not feeling worthy yourself. So it makes more sense for you to go outside of you and in the comments section and make all these things about everybody else, because it allows you to ignore the fact that you know you're a sellout. Not to me. You sold your family down the river. You sold your marriage down the river. You sold yourself down the river, because God has been knocking for a long time. He has been promising you some amazing things in your life, but you can't get your damn car out of park. So what do? You sit on the hood, and what do? You throw rocks. That's how Jesus would do it. That's how Jesus would do it. Well, is that how Jesus would do it? You sitting in park? God can't drive or steer or guide a parked car. Yet there you are, hell-bent, sitting on the hood of your vehicle, throwing stones at people who are passing you by. They're not better than you. They're just willing to do what you won't do. So God tells Abraham, here is the beginning of your journey. 1, leave your country. You all have a box you have put God in. It's not who God is. It's the box you put God in. And then if anyone does anything outside that box, You're convinced that's not how Jesus would do it. But that has nothing to do with what Jesus would or would not do. That has to do with the box and the narrative you have created and put Jesus in. Put God in. It's not true, except for it is true, because it's true for you. It's not true for me. That's why you come to me with your bullshit box. I'm like, I don't subscribe to that. Well, that's not how Jesus would do it. No, that's your story. That's your narrative. That's your shit. That has nothing to do with me. You work your own shit out. Fuck you. In my box, you can't say fuck you. Well, guess what? In my box, you can. Well, it's not possible that God would talk to you. You say too many fuck yous. You got tattoos. You're loud. You're obnoxious. Your hair is shitty. You didn't even do your hair today. Garrett, you didn't even do your hair today. That's for sure not how Jesus would do it. I was like, again, your box. Well, you can't do that with money. Your box. You can't do that in your marriage. Your box. You can't do that with your kids. Your box. I'm helpless. Your box. Your box is your country. Step one, God says, leave your country. Which is what? Get out of your box. Abraham had to get out of his box. Literally had to leave his physical country. Some of you won't even change jobs. God's been saying, hey, quit your job. I got something else for you. You're like, no, that's not what Jesus would do. Hey, I need you to switch churches. Hey, I need you to have a hard conversation with your wife. Hey, I need you to do this. No. Not going to do it. Why? Because it makes me change my box. I don't like that. I need everyone else to get small into my box so I feel comfortable. And then inside of my small box, in that comfortable place, I will then feel good about my life. No, fuck you. That's not how life works. That's not what God's asking you to do. You were born here to have a transformation of the mind and to experience dominion over yourself and the life that you have created. You are a steward and responsible. You've been given 2 talents. You better turn it into 4. But most of you are taking the 1 talent you got, you're burying it in the dirt for fear of the master. And so you don't live out the purpose of your life out of fear and terror. And with you burying your talent in the dirt, you look at me who turned 4 into 8 and 8 into 16, and you're like, that's not what Jesus would do. Well, it is actually. It's called progression. It's called expansion. And it's an individual sport, by the way. So what you choose to do and don't choose to do is irrelevant to me. Your doubt or wonder about whether what I'm doing is on path for me and what Christ has called me to do is irrelevant. And what would happen if you had that kind of courage in your own life? Well, that's not what my pastor likes. Fuck your pastor. He's not God. He's not Christ. He's a man who messes up, looks at porn, jerks off, does stupid shit, thinks weird shit, has opinions that aren't accurate, that are human-based, just like me, just like you. They're not perfect. That's not their job. They're not trying to be perfect. They're trying to hold the container to point you to relationship with Christ, but that relationship with Christ means you're going to have to do some crazy shit. Stuff that you don't want to do, stuff that's uncomfortable for you, stuff that God's asking you to do that you don't even know the impact of doing it. I don't know the impact of these videos, but I do know the impact of these videos because I had 2 experiences just yesterday. I ran to a guy in a grocery store in Utah. I was picking my daughter up from school. I was at a grocery store in Utah, and a guy came up to me and said, I watched your Noah video a few weeks ago. It was so inspiring. Thank you so much. Blah, 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 blah. I got on a plane. I saw another guy. It's like, hey, man, don't I know you? Are you like Insta-famous? I was like, I don't know if I'm Insta-famous anything. I don't really try to be any of that. And he's like, dude, I watch all your videos all the time. I'm like, oh, okay. And then we get the inbound messages. And so there's the consequence of your not doing. Many of you won't do what you're being asked to do because you won't leave your country. 1, 2, you won't leave your family. That was the second request God had of Abraham. Leave your family. This means the way you believe your marriage is. You hold your wife hostage with your stupid stories. Your box about your wife is what holds her hostage. Yeah, I'm talking to men because that's who I talk to most of the time. You hold her hostage. She wants to grow, become, expand. But you're threatened by this. You're threatened by her rising in power as a woman. So what do? You use twisted Christian patriarchal order bullshit to put her back in a box. You don't let her grow because it's a threat to you. Because it would require you to leave your box. So you have a story about your wife, you have a story about your kids, you have a story about yourself, you have a story about your job, you have a story about life all wrapped up in this, but you won't let it go. Why won't you let it go? That's not what Jesus would do. No, I'll tell you what Jesus did. Jesus did hard shit when God asked him to do it. even when he didn't want to. Isn't that the greatest? Even Jesus questioned the weight of what God was asking him to do. Sat in the Garden of Gethsemane. Questioned it. He's like, man, this is too heavy. I cannot do this. This is too heavy. God, is there another way? This is way heavier than I ever imagined it to be. This is way heavier. But the key word at the very end. But not my way. Thy will be done. On earth as it is in heaven. This is what Abraham did that was different than so many of us. God said, leave your country. Abraham left his country. God said, leave your family. Abraham left his family. He left his storylines that held his life across body, being bound, some business, a hostage. And here's the third piece. Leave your father's house. Right? You won't leave the traditions of your family. Some of you are generationally broke financially. Because you won't leave your father's house. You won't leave the patterns and traditions of your parents. You won't break the chains and the curses of a generation and generations before you. You accepted Jesus, all right, but you're not doing anything past that. You might call yourself a step-up Christian because you go to church every week. Makes you feel good. I'm not saying it doesn't deliver good results. But are you actually willing to break the chains? Are you willing to be the one in your generational line that changes the future of your family's posterity and the game forever? That's all Abraham wanted. And so he did it. God said, leave your country, and he left. He said, leave your family, and he left. He said, leave your father's house, and he left. And then came the promise, and I will lead you to a new land. And then the statement after that, which was so inspiring to me, he said, I will build you a great nation. And I looked at that from this place. I will build you a great nation. You as an individual. Not the nation, you. So if we want to change this nation, this country, it's going to require you to do some things. One, you're going to have to leave your country. Two, you're going to have to leave your family. Three, you're going to have to leave your father's house. And then blessing comes in. Then God will lead you to a new land. And when you're led to that new land, that new way of seeing, that new way of believing, that new way of operating, when you've taken that small little box you put God in, and you open that box up and realize the whole time that God was always there at levels you could have never imagined, that the guidance to lead your family, lead your marriage, lead your children, and lead your businesses, and lead your life was always so much bigger that you were trying to drink through a coffee straw. And then yelling at anyone that showed up with a large concrete tube bringing in the power and light of God because you only understood what it was like to suck from a coffee straw. And then one day you stop at the coffee straw, you throw it over your shoulder and you start to breathe and you're like, whoa, I feel born again. You're like, yeah. That's the point, man. That's the point. You are the nation God's trying to build. You.
Well.
I'm not Jesus. Neither are you. Yep. I'm not Jesus. And
Yeah. Check him out, Garrett White. You're welcome. I do like the fact I see people actually telling these pharisaical, hypocritical, idolater Christians What the heck is up? In their little fancy Sunday morning, Sunday evening, Wednesday night country clubs. Yeah. Where's the power at? God's love left the building a long time ago. Bunch of fake phonies. God is a God about relationship. He's not somewhere far out there. Gave his spirit to live on the inside of us so that we can activate and we can be his hands and feet on this earth. No matter what it looks like. No matter where it's at, what community it's in, it doesn't matter. We're to represent and be a facet of God that he wants to express through a vessel on this earth to the collective, to the masses. There's going to be a lot of people waking up out of this facade. They're going to be looking for answers. You guys are going to have the answers. Just try it. See if it works in your own life. That's how I manifest. I get in alignment with God. Like sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it's stuff I want isn't in alignment with God. So like if it's going to destroy me, I'm not going to get that. Yeah, something better. But until I get out of that alignment of this is what I want in the container of the box that it's in, I mean, yeah, we're allowed to be specific. God knows what we want. He created us. He has a perfect person for you. Just you've been aligning and jumping ahead. Getting in a heap of trouble when you do. Many times people turn evil. You get a soul tie and all that other shit, you know. So we're to be very careful with who we share our energy with. We're to be very careful with who we exchange energy with. If you're for people who don't know how to block it, which we're going to have to start teaching that on how to block energies, but we had to learn how to do it ourselves first. We had to learn how to body heal thyself and just sit in the anointing and allow the angel, call in the angels. They're there for you. The spiritual realm is real. You can banish any dark forces from your energy, from your house. You have the authority and you're supposed to. You're supposed to take dominion over your environment everywhere you go. You can go out and manifest from parking spot and green lights the whole way and peace on the road. I didn't even have road rage today. Aries, in traffic, no road rage. By the way, it took like 4. I was just in la-di-da land, not even joking, out in society, just spreading my sparkling light everywhere I go, making people laugh and giving them a chuckle for the day. That's what I do. I talk to people that I don't even know, if I feel guided to. Yeah. So fun, isn't it? I got a stellium there, dude. So, yeah, y'all. We've all been in the law, and we needed to be in the cocoon. And I'm just letting you know, at one point, because the times we're living in, Peace Stiller laid it out right out last night. I'm so glad he did. It's the end time. It's even in the astrology. Things are going to start happening quicker and faster. And information is going to come pouring out you more and more. The thing is what are you going to do? If you like stood before God and God said, hey, I gave you all these beautiful talents. What do you have? What'd you do with it? And you put your head down and walk away because you didn't use it? Because everybody has infinite potential. Right now, exceedingly getting downloads. You all are. Write them down. This is one for the history books. This is one for the history books. People really need to be making sure they're journaling their experience throughout this time. Because all we know, and all is what past generations have told us, and a lot of it was lies. Or some lies was sprinkled with some truth here and there. Or then you had the truthers out there yelling, it's happening. And everybody wants to call them a conspiracy theorist. Well, what I do is I just start writing down my prayers. I write down important things that I get when I wake up from dreams. And I have to date them. Like it's in scripture that for the great and terrible day of the Lord, there would be a massive, massive uprising and people coming to know who God is. This has been prophesied. People knowing who their creator is and being a force to be reckoned with. Because you have the ability with the Holy Spirit to co-create with the creator because he can trust you. But you got to do what God is telling you to do. It's like I said, many of us are afraid to try something because we're afraid of failing. Do you know how many things I failed at? Or I technically, it was a learned lesson. It was an experience. It wasn't a failure. Look at all your past failures as experiences to grow and get better. You weren't a failure. Your life wasn't a failure. It was an experience. That was your experience that you can glean from and grow from and make impact because of that experience. Because your life is your life. The stuff that happened in my life is the stuff that happened in my life. Like, for me, like some of you who haven't had like the whole huge church background have been hurt, leadership, all of that stuff, and then the thing happened. It is what it is. Some of you have a life that you have no church background, which I like you guys the best anyway. You guys are more open. You guys can help people in areas I never could because of the experiences that you've had and the places that you had influence aren't the same places I had influence. One of the things I really, really, really want you to get. That's why you like this. I'm not here to bash church people. I'm not. Um, they like to bash me though, because I even on mystical, I'm the church lady or whatever you want to call me, or I'm the Christian in the group, or how. Not even. I'm a follower of Jesus. I do what he tells me to. I try to model and do what he would do. That's and a lot of times that got me in trouble too because it was like I was forgiving people and then I didn't understand just because I forgave somebody I didn't have to let that back in my life, which many times when you do let it back in your life, it brings forth more sin in your life. When you let that thing, like you can forgive the person, you're not to have anything technically to do with that old thing. That's why, yeah, like trying to freaking compute here because it's like sometimes, there's some Lazarus things that are gonna be popping up. Some of you had goals and dreams, and I said this before. You had goals and dreams, and you forgot about them. You forgot about those goals and dreams. Probably childhood stuff too. God didn't forget. Some of those things and ideas are going to start coming up again. And you're going to be like, only God could have done this. I see doors and opportunities opening up. Just remember, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Just, it never hurts to at least step out and try. You'll know because the door, it won't flow. I'm not saying if you're in the anointing, it flows. If you're not, it's hard and it doesn't work. If it's not in God's plan, it's not going to work. And I'm going to tell you something right now. You can look around. Look around at all your friends, all your family, all the people you held high in high esteem. How many of them are truly happy in their relationships? How many of them are just truly happy in general? How many of them, just talk shit about other groups of people? Like they're still stuck in this group versus that group stuff. Group think. Because God doesn't do that. God's like, oh yeah, that's my kid. That's my kid. He doesn't differentiate. He doesn't say, oh yeah, that's my Caucasian daughter in Pennsylvania that reads tarot. He doesn't do that. He just says, that's my kid. He doesn't put labels on people. Oh, they're the Baptist version of Christianity. No. We're children. We're fractals of the Most High. We all carry the essence of God. We're all created different for a reason. We all different DNA for a reason. No two people are alike for a reason. Because we were made to be co-creating and creative beings and have the Pisces energy to be able to go into upper realms and upper rooms and be able to commune with the Most High, because we have the Spirit. Some of us actually can do that, yeah. But you have to get real freaking humble before you do. God does the humbling. And it's not to make you feel bad either. It's so that you don't get puffed up with pride when God brings in your blessing. Like, so that when you're being blessed and you see the unfortunate who screwed you over, you're not going to sit there and be like, ha, ha, ha. No, you're probably going to feel bad for them. Even though God's going to be like, don't help them. And test you there. Because if you do, guess what? You're giving that energy back into that bad source. And you're tapped into a yucky spring again. Downloads, okay? If God already got you out of a situation, thank your lucky stars. Give God a high five. Tell him thank you for rescuing you and being so that we're not trapped when all this shit goes down. Oh yeah. This girl's getting, I'm sorry, but like, I understand there's people like, oh, you'll probably be here, because they know who I am. I'm like, oh no, if I have anything to do with it, I'm raptured. I'm gonna go hang out for a couple years with the Divine Creator, and I'll come back and whoop some frickin' demon ass. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'm gonna go hang out with them. The Most High first. Give him his gifts back. Then I came here to take back territory, take back his gifts that are being used for dark purposes. Ain't nobody I know, except for a few people, on YouTube that talk about God and talk about Jesus the way I do. And I read tarot cards and I'm really good at it. God gave me that talent because it was his gifts. All those gifts of mysticism are being used by dark forces. Yeah, I'm coming to get your gifts back. They're God's. They don't want you to have them no more. Talking gift shit, bitch. And yeah, we're building up a whole army to make tarot great again. Make channeling great again. Make manifestation great again by the Most High. Because we're purifying his gifts back to him that have been tainted. Like, do you want to do? You can come over on the light side, or you can stay on the dark side and do it the wrong way. That's up to you. You're going to have to answer for it, not me. And it's not going to be very long. So you're not going to have much time. I suggest you get on the light side of this thing and stop calling on Lucy and all those other satanic creatures to help you manifest stuff. It's stupid. Then you got to sacrifice and hurt people. Narcissists would do that because they have no feelings. But if you have feelings, I know. God knows your heart. There ain't nobody too far gone yet. Some people say narcissists can't change. So far, that's been proven. I say nothing is impossible with God. I know God says in the end days, like, their hearts will wax cold. I understand this. That's what these narcissists. I hear you. My cat's out there yelling, Mom. My cat talks. Yes? What do you want, Jack? Gotta let Chubbers in. Hold on a minute. Come on. Come on. You coming or not? Come here. How you doing? Hello? What? Come here. Oh gosh, yeah, they all come. Well, the people in the Bible actually talked about the faith. They talked about what God, the hard things God told them to do. And they talked about running ahead of God and how bad that was for them. And um, they actually wrote about the people. They weren't perfect. They were very imperfect. They'd done things that they weren't supposed to do. And the thing is God doesn't put parameters or, oh yeah, black and white. You're not supposed to do this. There's a reason behind it. God doesn't want you to do certain things because it hurts you spiritually. God says don't get drunk. Well, we have the reasons why. Don't be drunk. Well, destroys your body. Destroys your liver. Makes you do things that you normally wouldn't do sometimes. DUIs can kill somebody, can kill yourself. My grandfather was killed because of alcohol. You know, there's just certain things that, and it's all for your safety and your protection. That's why, that's the whole thing as far as like even sexual stuff. Like, God wants it in covenant. Two people who love him. Two people who understand that there is a creator and there's soul ties and there's demonic forces and there's evil energy out there that tries to harm you. And they work through people and they live in other meat suits. I know you can. I know. You can now. Didn't used to happen that way. Not until weed was made medically legal. Funny though. If you have a medical card, then it's not illegal. You could actually drive with it in your system. You just can't, you know. At least that's here. Well, you're in PA, you know. Those parameters aren't to take away your fun. They aren't, it's out of protection. God doesn't want you attached to nobody. God doesn't want you soul tied to anybody, especially because then you're clearing their karmic soul stuff and you're taking on their family ancestral curses too. So all these people who've slept with like hundreds of people, imagine the karma and the shit. Like, I feel bad for them in the next life. Because there's no way they're gonna, unless they woke up and because we've been clearing for our own family, and then when you intermix with somebody and you're trying to purify yourself, and then their energy gets in yours, and God's like, no, wait a minute. There's an energy transference, and your energy goes with them, and then they're blessed, and you're sitting in the shit where they were. Like, that's a real thing. I saw it happen, magician style. Yeah. It looked like hell when you first started dating them, and all of a sudden, like a week or two, they got their swagger back. And you're starting to feel drained and feel like shit. Yeah. Don't think I don't know what they do. That's exactly what they do. It's demonic. It's really demonic. And the thing is if you don't even realize it's there, you think it's you. No, it's the asshole you're hanging out with, and screwing with, and whatever. You're taking on their stuff. Wow, that's why God had us, many of us, single, hermited, celibate. And distractions come in. Wasn't ready yet. Well, that to me means squat at this point. It'll happen when it happens. Stay on my path. I was out running around, like I said, till like 7:30. Wanted to come on, talk about this with the synchronicities and the downloads, and sorry about the sermon, but I just feel like it needs to be said. If you know that you're being told to do something, try it. Step out. Be writing things down. Be writing your prayers down. We co-create. Like, people look at the universe as it's just the stars and the moon. No. There's someone that put that all in order. It's the creator. The creator put that all in order. It's real, people. It's all real. Just look around. You know? People are going to be coming to you. You need to get to this place of release and peace. And the only way I knew how to find it was surrendering to the call of God and what He's told me to do. No matter what it looked like. Little did I know. When I said, I will do whatever you ask me to do. When I went. Well, took a long time for my preparation. There's still some lessons I had to learn. Many of you, hi, many of you have already been going through these lessons, but you didn't have the key helper. Talk to God. Cast your burdens. Don't pick them back up. Someone tries to bring up an old that you forgive. Don't go back into the feeling of that. That's the emotional part of it, is becoming emotionally mature. Because that's what these people want to do. They want to be like, do you remember this? And do you remember that? And how good this was? Don't go back into the emotional feeling of it. You can remember it. Be like, oh, yeah. But don't take it on as an emotional feeling. Gotta block it. You give out to those who equally reciprocate and who want help. But always be in a state of gratitude, be in a state of happiness. Try to be joyful. I just think about, like, when shit happens at this point, I just kind of laugh because I'm like, figures, typical. Say Jamie. Jameson. Hi, Jamie. I did my baby. So yeah, that was my day in a nutshell. Those are some of the downloads. You guys are getting synchronicities. Um, yeah, they're increasing. You guys are probably going to be getting messages for other people. Make sure that you're giving them out. Probably Soul Tribe. Our soul family is big time making themselves known. God is doing this on purpose. Um, and I think at one point the blue crew needs to at one point do some for kind of, I'm meeting people in PA, and anywhere in the tri-state area. I think we're gonna do something. I think we need to do a meetup. Email me, blueflame, blah, 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 blah. Wrong. Beautifulmind4275 at gmail.com. If you guys are interested in possibly meeting up, doing a retreat, doing a collab, get a hold of me. I do not judge you for what you believe. I don't care what you believe. I'm gonna love you regardless of what you believe. That's not my thing. Well, manifest it in. Write it down. Like I said, manifestation. There were some things that, like I said, it was just random. Like I said, I finally go to Lowe's to get paint because I knew that the paint machine has been down at Walmart for weeks. Like, months, excuse me, months. Go to Lowe's, go get some paint that I think is pretty close to matching. Paint machine's fixed at Walmart. Yeah. I think my Cavalier needs something or another. I gotta have that looked at. I've been putting off getting my Cavalier fixed too. Because I have two other running vehicles that run great. So I'm just kind of like, but I don't want it really to sit there and rot, and I would prefer to drive that in the winter because that's a car that I don't. I'd like to keep, I like to be putting around in that one because I don't care near as much about that one as I do. My Corolla is worth more, way more than my Cavalier. And my Mazda gets winterized, so I'm only going to be able to have my baby out for another couple weeks, possibly until the snow starts flying around here. And then you guys will see me a lot more on the inside. I'll be able to do more videos. I'm gonna see if I can get a terabyte thing so that I can start taking all my videos and putting it right on there. Yep. The way I'm off. You guys have a good night. If you can't syncs, it's normal. Expect them to increase a lot. God's trying to get your attention. I'm gonna be doing a can't even get it out. Lightworker Starseed reading. I'm gonna come on tomorrow. It was good hanging out with you too. I'm gonna come on tomorrow, and I really got to start doing actual like recording. I can't be going live all the time. YouTube don't like that. So I'm gonna try and start uploading content. So I actually got permission from my daughter's friend because I started channeling what was going on with him. and he was telling me his story. And then I started channeling what I was feeling, what I felt, and what the solution of what we were going to do to help him with breaking out of, like, I'm pretty sure that there is a spirit that imprinted on him. And he's got to release that. So, I have that. I actually I got his permission, and he said absolutely I could record it. So maybe I'll put it up as, you know, no cards were involved. I just was sitting on my bed. I started channeling it to him, and he's like, "Oh my god!" A couple times, I can't believe you're saying that. I'm like, sorry, I just not like, not in a bad way, but like, this is different. Definitely different gifts. Like I said, making tarot great again. But be working with helping people get free of these soul ties and stuff. That's a big one. Just know, you got demons, they will they will manifest. And you're gonna have to make a decision. Shutting it down or getting free. One of the two. And here's the thing. Most people that got them don't even realize it's the subconscious programming that don't want to leave. They're influenced by the 7 spheres of influence. It's those 7 principalities. Yeah, they got little demons that go out and do their bidding. So a lot of times we got to get that out of a person's energy system. Okay? So you got your religious demons, and it's a whole slew of them. People don't even have a clue. Either way, I love you. Have a good night. Bye.